Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
I'm going to share briefly the efforts so far and the impact and future possibilities. The effort basically is for establishing universal human values as a starting point for holistic and value-based education in the mainstream education system. So we start with value education, then value education basically means that we add a new subject, this value education subject. Then value-based education, that every subject is based on human values. That is, it is based on ensuring harmony at the level that it is working on. And then that naturally leads to living in harmony, value-based living. It has been rigorously experimented in mainstream education since the 80s, starting with the Science and Humanism course at IIT Delhi. Then with that, MHRD established National Resource Centers in IIT Delhi and two other places, NCERT and IIMLIBNET. The IIT Delhi Resource Center is still operational. 2005, IIIT Hyderabad experimented with a mandatory two-semester course. Professor Shatrunjay Rawat is here, so I would encourage you to speak to him about this course. In 2009, UPTU, which is now called AKTU, picked the course up and it was placed in these 550 colleges. Punjab Technical University was next. Then in 2012, we started international conferences. And the first conference, we had Professor Pema Thinle, Rashtra Pema Thinle, who was then the Vice Chancellor of Royal University of Bhutan. So from this conference, it went to Bhutan, and it is, they found that it is very well connected with the concept of gross national happiness. So, and then in 2012, the Himachal Pradesh Technical University and Bikaner Technical University, we are fortunate to have Professor S.T. Charan, who was then the Vice Chancellor of Bikaner Technical University, and he will share in the afternoon session. By 2017, more than 40 universities in 10 states of India had this foundation course, and they were finding it, the outcomes very encouraging. One thing I want to reinforce is that this initiative succeeded and sustained in institutions where the head of the institution attended the program. At that time, Professor Sahasrabudhe, who was the then chairman of AICTE, brought it to AICTE. In 2017, AICTE could acutely sense the need for human values. They could recognize that human values content and process is universal and it is effective. It was assured by the scale of previous implementations, and it was able to appreciate its visible and considerable impact and effectiveness. Although it is taught, there is a sort of feeling that values cannot be taught, but values can be taught in the classroom, they can be practiced, and there are hundreds and thousands of good examples that are now being, we can see them. AICTE from 2017 has made tremendous effort in taking this to the whole mission. Every subsequent chairman, vice chairman, member secretary, they have, and we are delighted to have Professor Yogeshji over here, who is now taking it to such a national level, I would say international level. Thank you so much. So there are some details over there. I think I'll skip those details. But very briefly on the model, model is, in detail, if I see for step 1, the value education part, there are 3 possibilities. We do things proactively, we do things post-actively when things become worse, or we do things almost like after that when things become critical. Today we are doing counseling and things like that when things have become quite critical. So if we place this in the initial stage of the student's life, in school and in college, it will make a huge difference. So for higher education, students, if they go through the student induction program, a reasonably sized 3-week induction program, which includes UHV 1, this Universal Human Values 1, and Holistic Health, and follow it up with faculty mentors, follow it up with student buddies, it will make a tremendous amount of difference. And that results Rajniji had briefly shared. Then follow it up with a mandatory UHV 2 course and an optional minor degree in UHV. So this can be done proactively. And of course for this, faculty has to be well prepared. The minor degree has these courses, UHV 3 to UHV 8 and Holistic Health 2. And the minor degree in UHV is intended to develop teachers, parents and policy makers of tomorrow who will have a humane world vision. They will be focused on well-being of all. Along with the technical skills, who strive to ensure value-based living for themselves, they are in peace within and are committed to contributing to developing a humane society. So this model curriculum that AICTE started has been augmented with this minor degree, and several universities today are opting for this minor degree for their students. And while they are preparing their teachers to be able to deliver the minor degree courses, we are putting it on Swayam so that it can be read. So these are the details that we are doing. Once the problems become more active, at that time we do have anti-ragging cells, helplines, grievance systems. But unless we do the proactive step, this next step is not good. It is going to have a huge volume and counseling in this. And if we don't address it over there also, we have things like suicide. So we need to look at things very actively. Step 2, as I said before, is aligning all the subjects to human values. And this model that we talked about, Rajneesh has already talked about. And the value-based living, that institutions become living models of the kind of society that we aspire for, that we want to leave for our children. So, of course, a lot of effort will be required over there. These details are not covering, but showing over here, because these are covered in the basic 5 to 8 day programs that we have on universal human values. The implementation, the team of faculty volunteers who are more than 500 in number, and they are across the nation, are organized in a very well-knit network. We have, for every region, like we had the registration desks for, we had 4 registration desks, but for all the 8 regions, there are regional coordinators, and they meet every week. They have lots of meetings, and the meetings are basically for developing themselves, number 1, developing a feeling of team, feeling of relationship in the team, and the third one is with that feeling of relationship, they can contribute to the programs, the projects, the activities, which will help to develop that humane society that we are looking for. These numbers have been covered. You can see in the map, that every state of India, 39, there are, I think, some things are left, but mostly we have covered almost 99.9%. So today we see this implementation has not higher education, but from there the model has been taken by school education. We are developing a counseling model which is based on universal human values, so that we address the root cause. We don't address the symptom alone, we address the root cause. And then the model for the extension work in villages, rehabilitation programs and jails. So these are some numbers which Rajnishi has already covered. One thing I would certainly mention here is that the rehabilitation effort that Bhutan Institute of Wellbeing has taken up about 7 or 8 years back, their success rate, their sober rate after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years of addiction, their sober rate went up from 40% to 62%. So this kind of change happened because they are addressing to the root cause. And the root cause is a person is unhappy, they are trying to escape from that unhappiness, and they are taking out to drugs and alcohol and things like that. So if they are able to see what is happiness, if they are able to directly observe and directly see, be aware, they can get out of this problem. So very large percentage of success rate we can see in this Bhutan Institute of Wellbeing.